Hi everyone, I hope that you're having a beautiful day today. It is my day 2 of a 30-day no spend challenge. If you have seen my previous video, you will know what it is about. So far so good. It's day 2 only. I was tempted to buy a couple of things, but I resisted and I thought to myself that I can really live without those things and I'm not going to delay buying those things. So that means that I'm not going to just not buy it this month but buy it later. I thought I will share with you my financial goals for 2017. I want these habits to be habits that I will adapt for life, that will stay with me, not just for 2017. The very first money habit that I want to develop in 2017 is staying debt-free. I got rid of really huge debt in 2 years' time. I probably don't want to mention the amount on the video, but to give you an idea, you could probably put hefty down payment on your house with that amount. I went into debt when I was pregnant with my first baby, and we both were out of work and we had a lot of financial commitments, and we took out credit cards one after another, and it just went down the hill from there. If you want me to make a video on debt management and how to get rid of that fast, let me know in the comments below. I will make a separate video for that. But the main idea of staying debt free or paying off your debt in 2017 is your commitment to pay off the debts. So you need to make this a priority before you even start saving money. If you are ever dreaming of saving money and maybe saving for your dream house, your car, your kids' education, your own education, whatever it might be, before you start saving, you need to get rid of any debts that you have. As Dave Ramsey suggests in his book, Total Money Makeover, he says that we should write down all our debts from smallest to largest, not from largest to smallest, and I'll tell you why. He says that if you commit to paying off the smallest debt first, it's going to be quite easy to do so. For example, if you owe your friend £20 or £200, probably this amount is not as big as, let's say, £3,000 debt on your credit card. It's gonna give you that inspiration that you can actually do it, because when you are in big debt and when you calculate the total amount of everything, you just feel helpless and you feel like probably maybe the best way out of it is a bankruptcy, or you just never pay it off and you just keep acquiring bigger and bigger debt. If you start from smallest and move on to the largest, this will fuel you up, will give you motivation, and will make you feel that there is a possibility to get out of it. So for myself personally, I want to stay out of debt because I'm already debt free, and so I don't want to be borrowing money from friends or family or using credit cards, which I don't have anyways. I don't want to be taking out any loans, and I want to be living within my means, and that is my main goal for 2017. Number 2 money habit for 2017 is to plan ahead financially. So what I've done, I already wrote down my financial goals and what I want to achieve, and it doesn't have to be just for 2017. It can be long-term goals. Let's say, for example, you want to save up for down payment for your house, which is, let's say, £30,000. If you want to do it in 3 years, that means you will need to save £10,000 a year, and you need to think how you're going to do it, how you're going to spread out the costs throughout the months, and how you're going to monitor your savings and how well you're doing. If you want to be debt-free, set a special date when you want to achieve this. Money habit number 3 for 2017 is to build up an emergency fund, and I spoke about this in my previous video. I will link that video in the description box for you if you want to see it. But the main idea is to save up at least £1,000 at the very beginning. Money habit number 4 for 2017 for me is to use cash whenever it's possible, cut out my credit cards, which I already did, and limit my access to debit cards, so I just put it away and I don't really use it on daily basis. What I use is cash envelopes system, and I will make a video on it soon where I show you how I budget my month using cash only and envelopes. The idea behind using cash only is that it actually hurts us to spend money. When we are using debit cards, it's much easier to go over the budget and not being aware of what you're spending. If you use cash only, and if you use just a certain amount that you decided to spend, it might be a little bit embarrassing at the till when you will have to leave out some things behind, but after a couple of times this happens, you will kind of stop picking up things that you never planned. Another financial habit that I want to do for my family this year is to have financial meetings every month. And you can do that even if you are a single person. That does not have to be with your partner. But if you're a family, that's even better, to sit down together and see that you both are on the same page. Especially if you are using joint account and if your finances are joint. This is what is in my family, and I think that this is what works best. My suggestion would be that you have that meeting on the day when you're receiving your wages, not on the first day of the month. Because how it works, most of us receive our wages around 24th, 26th, end of the month. But if we wait it out until the first of the month, we kind of lost 1 week of expenses. And when we sit down on the first day of the month, we kind of still have an idea that we have all that wages. However, in that 1 week, we would have spent quite a hefty amount already, because when we receive wages, we suddenly feel like we are rich and we can afford everything, and we go out to celebrate and we start buying things. So we kind of forget that we have done that. So I think it's a good idea to just sit down together on the day when you're receiving the wages. You can discuss things like what works for you financially, what new things you started adapting in your financial life. Did it work? What can be improved? Maybe both of you need new clothes, or you need a sofa for your home, or somebody's birthday is coming up. So these things you need to discuss, and you need to set out the budget for those purchases, and you need to agree on those purchases as well. And I think that shows respect towards each other's hard-earned money as well, especially if you're using joint account. I think that it's a good time to check your bank statement. When we started doing that, we saw that we spent £500 on the sofa in Argos, which we didn't buy, and that took us about 2 months to get that money back. Apparently someone somehow misused our details and bought themselves sofa. So these things can happen. A friend told me that her husband was in the bank when he was talking to the bank assistant. We're talking something about their account. He can see somebody is using his card in China. So it's very important to keep a track of your expenses. Money habit number 6 for 2017 is to sleep on bigger purchases. So it could be family purchases or your individual purchases, but decide on the amount. What seems to be a big purchase for you, decided that it will be £50. If something costs £50, we will not buy it right away. We will come back and we will discuss that purchase, and we will think about it and give it a couple of days to settle in and see if we really need it. Money habit number 7 for 2017 is to ditch that latte. I love buying latte outside, but when I did calculations, let me tell you, I wrote it down. I used to spend roughly £2 to £3 a day on latte, and that is around £65 a month. And if you are buying a latte and a cookie that I used to do, it's £95 a month. and that is if you're buying only latte every day I mean from Monday to Friday, if you're working in the office, you spend £775 a year, and if you're buying yourself a cookie as well, it's £1,135 a year, and that is big amount of money. We really can make our own coffee at work or at home. I really feel positive that I'm going to be sticking to these new money habits, because for me, at least personally, that makes a lot of sense and I really want to try it out. So let me know what money habits you are planning to adopt this year, and maybe I can also adopt your money habit. That will be it from me for now, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.